Good morning, students. Welcome to your exam-based conduct classes for 2018 at Institute of Open Learning. Your course is Certificate in Policing, subject Policing Law 1B. I'm Master Sid Samarab. I'm your tutor for this subject. Once again, welcome to this presentation. Outline of your presentation will be the assignment structure, your assignment preparation and writing tips, continuous assessment, examination structure and examination preparation, what you need to do during your examination. For this subject, you are required to answer all the questions. There will be multiple choice questions, true and false statements, and other short questions in your assignment. Question 1 and 2 are short questions for 1 mark each. Question 1 and 3 are ranging from 3 to 15 marks questions where you will be expected to discuss, explain, etc. All questions in the assignment are from the content in the study material provided by IOL. The assignment counts 120 marks because it's a 12 credit subject. Students should read the questions carefully before answering or starting of your assignment. You are not limited to your study guide only, but may consult any other relevant supplementary source of information like officers, law enforcement officers that is already in the field and that knows how to deal with certain issues, that can explain you on how you should prepare for a question like that or a situation like that. Collect all the relevant study material that you will need in preparation for the assignment. It is always advisable that you need to collect all what you need to consult, read them through. The better you prepare, the better marks you score in your assignment. Look at what is required from you in the question paper, like discuss, explain, list, name, demonstrate, whatever the requirement is, you need to read it so that you can know. It's only when you know what is required from you that you will be able to answer the question correct. When you prepare to answer an assignment, try by all means to summarize the information you obtain from books, journals, internet or other human sources. Do not copy your study guide, as the guide should only assist you or giving you direction in understanding the subject matter. That's why you need to read the guide and go for additional material. Institutional policy prohibits plagiarism, therefore you are urged in all seriousness to avoid copying from your study guide or any other material without acknowledging the source of information, and such acknowledgement should be done in the correct way. Provide practical examples to demonstrate your understanding of the subject matter. The continuous assessment and calculation of marks. Continuous assessment per model consists of 1 assignment. For this subject, you are requested to only submit 1 assignment. There is no test, there is no second assignment, and that assignment counts 120 marks for the model. You need to obtain a sub-minimum of 50% at the end of the assignment as a continuous assessment mark to allow you to write your exam. Your mark obtained in the assignment will be divided by 6, and then it will be times by 5 to get your final mark out of 100. That will be your CA mark. If you obtain 20 in your assignment, it will be divided by 6 times 5 to give you a final mark. So minimum you need to obtain at least 60 out of 120. That will be divided by 6. That will give you 10 times 5, and then it gives you a final mark of 50 in your continuous assessment. That will be required for admission to the examination. If you get anything less than 50, you will not be able to write your exam. A final pass mark of 50% is required, calculated by 60% of the examination mark, because the weighing of your examination is 60 against the 40% weighing of your continuous assessment mark. So a sub-minimum of 50 must be attained in the examination. Example of the calculation is that suppose your assignment, continuous assessment is 50, your examination is 50. Your CA will be calculated against 40%, that will be the weighing. So 50 times 40 divided by 100 gives you 20. Then your examination will be weighed by 60. So the 50 you obtain will be multiplied by 6 and then divided by 100, that gives you 30. So calculating the two together will give you a final mark of 50 that allows you to progress to your next level. So during the examination, your examination is 2.5 hours. You will answer all the questions in this subject, Policing Law 1B. There will be multiple choice questions, true and false statements, and other short questions of marks ranging from 1 to 5 in this subject. Additional to that paper will consist of long questions ranging from 10 to 15 marks. All questions in the examination paper are from the content in the study material provided by OEL. You don't need to study word by word as it appears in the study guide or any other material. You can still use your own words and paraphrase when you answer. As long as your answer is making sense to what is required, you will always be allocated of those marks. With regard to your examination preparation, you need to require your timetable well in advance from your administrative officers at IOL or either your coordinator in your regions. In this subject, we are not required to have additional material except from your student card, your pen, ruler, and watch. Read all the topics in your study guide for multiple choice questions, true and false statements, etc. Study hard for the examination to avoid disappointment. You will be required to spend more time on the following topics in this assignment and examination. Read any material on Windhoek City Police Service to have more knowledge on them. Articles on how a person in custody should be treated. A person in custody is a human being like any other human being, having the same rights as much as any other human being is having, and should be treated human. So read as much as you can on how they should be treated, the process of arrest and how such persons should be treated, and information to be recorded in the Polc. Students, you need to remember, arrest is a person that you deprive somebody of his liberty. So there are certain procedures, there are certain reasons why you should arrest a person, and all those reasons and procedures are guided by legal principles. So you need to conform to all the legal principles that goes with arrest and detaining a person in custody. You need to look at what is the information that is always recorded in a Polc. That's your investigation diary. Any docket must have an index, and your index in a docket is the investigation diary that is used. Know the procedure of handling firearms. Know the procedure of handing over a firearm or handling at a shooting range, the functions of the force, circumstances of lawful arrest and search after arrest. If you go through all these topics, you don't go wrong in your exam. So I'm sure that once you are done with that process, you will be able to pass your exam. Make sure that your student number is written correctly on. That will be what you should do during your examination. Make sure that your student number is written correctly, if possible, on all pages. Write your details as requested on the answer sheet. Write down the correct model name and code. It creates confusion if the code and name of model is wrong, as the paper are sent from one tutor to another tutor, and that makes the process difficult and it delays the entire results of IOL to be released. So make sure that you don't delay the results of the other students. Read instructions carefully and ensure you know what is required before you start writing. Read the exam paper first to make sure you understand the instructions and questions. Do not dive into writing without first reading the entire paper. Students tend to answer wrong questions and lose valuable points in that process. Answer questions into the correct sequence that is on the examination question paper. Do not start, for example, 1, 3, 5. then you write 2 and 4 at the end of the paper. That is very confusing. If it happens, it should clearly be indicated that question 2 is on page 10 or on last page for the tutor to know once he starts marking. You are not permitted to take any form of notes into your examination room, because that will amount to fraud and it will carry or stand on your name for long, because it will be on your study record. Plan how much time you want to spend on each question to save time. Plan your time wisely and write as quickly and neatly as possible. That should ensure that you finish on time. Please take the marks allocated for each question into consideration before you answer. That will determine the length of your answer. Then you are not in a position by, once you are requested 2 facts, you go and write 20 or 2 pages answer. That will waste your time. If there's any clarity that needs on this presentation, the preparation for the assignment or your examination, you are most welcome to contact me on the number provided on the presentation and the email address. I thank you. I wish you all the best of your assignments. For those who are still having assignments to do and those who are doing examination, all the best and good luck.